Shri Gurubhyo Namah. A very warm welcome to another session of Weekend with Wisdom. This is Nitin Sridhar. Let me begin with a small prayer. Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Today we have a very special guest, Shri Kumbakonam Ananthanarayana Bhagavathar ji, joining us from Tamil Nadu, and he will be speaking on a very unique topic today on Nama Sankeerthanam and divine weddings. I mean, most of you are aware about the notion of divine weddings. We celebrate the weddings of, we do the Sita Kalayanam, for example, or Tulasi Vivaha. So this practice is across the length and breadth of the country in different ways, wherein we celebrate the sacred marriage of our deities, of our devatas. And how this whole celebration is a part of Nama Sankeerthanam, Ananthanarayana will be shedding light. Before we begin the session, I just want to give a brief introduction to the speaker. Shri Ananthanarayana Bhagavathar ji is a renowned singer of Nama Sankeertana in Prachina Bhajana Sampradayam. He is the grandson of Bhagavata Padampamsu, late Shri T.V. Narayana Shastri of Kumbakonam, who was responsible for spreading abhangs in Tamil Nadu in the early 60s and founder of Panduranga Bhajan Mandali chapter. And he learned and attained expertise of Marathi abhangs from his father, Sri T.N. Vaidyanathan, a renowned singer of Nama Sankeertanam and founder of Bhakwasara, I think I am spelling it wrong, Bhakwaswara Bhajan Mandali, Chennai. And Ananthanarayana has performed Nama Sankeertanam and Bhajan everywhere on many places. He has performed in many sabhas. He has performed on TV channels, and since 2016, he has started performing in many venues outside of India, notably in US and Dubai. Thank you very much, sir. We are very fortunate to have you here. Please start your session. We are all looking forward to it.
Ram. Shrutisprati Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Loga Shankaram Apara Karuna Sindhum Dhanatam Shantarupinam Shri Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudhanvaham Yasya Smarana Matrena Namavakti Prajayate Tamnamami Shreshtam Bodhendram Jakatam Guru Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. The Nama Sankeertana, the divine worship of Bhagavan in the easiest way in Kaliyuga. So this Nama Sankeertanam was first created to worship Sriman Narayana as Harinama Sankeertanam. In the Harinama Sankeertanam, first it was assigned to the god of Rama. So it was first named as Rama Sankeertanam, then transformed to Nama Sankeertanam. Nama Sankeertanam was then assigned to worship any Hindu god like Sivanama Sankeertanam, Harinama Sankeertanam. Even nowadays, it's very predominant with the Hindu gods, Muruga, Skanda, and also Ayyappa. Also any Hindu god. Nama is name, Sankirtana is the musical form of worship. So just chanting the Bhagavan name, not by just chanting, by singing with a different tune, is called the Nama Sankeertanam. The sole supreme lord of protection, as mentioned in Vedas and Puranas, and the result of repeated research on the same. It all started with a Puranic sloka. Alotya sarvasastrani vicharyasya punapunaha itam yekam sunishpannoho deyoho narayanaha sada. Alotya, in this world, sarvasastrani, they gathered all the sastras and Vedas. Vicharyasya punapunaha, they kept on researching again and again. Alotya sarvasastrani vicharyasya punapunaha itam yekam, they got only one result. Again and again, on the repeated research, the result was one and the same. What the result is? Yeyoho Narayanaha sada. Narayana is the only supreme form of God which is present in all circumstances, now all point of time, which is stable, which is not bound to change at any point of time, is the supreme God of protection, which is Sriman Narayana. This is mentioned in the Puranas. This sowed the seeds for the creation of the divine form of worship, which is the Nama Sankeerthanam. Can you play the screen, Srihan, presentation slide? The next one. Aloti sarvasastrani vicharyasya punapunaha itam yekam sunishpannoho deyoho narayanaha sada. The Puranas, the Vedas, everything mentioned the one and the same. This is a verse from the Purana, and in the Vishnu Sukta it says, Dhruvaso asya girayo janasaha urukshidam sujanimasakara, which is from the Rig Veda, which says, Dhruvaso asya Kirayo Janasaka. Dhruvaso means they will get the highest place in the heaven. Asya means his. Kirayo, his name. Janasaka, whoever chants his name or sings his name will get the highest place in the heaven. Whose name? Urukshudikam. The one who is protecting the world is none other than Sujanima. Sujanima mentions the Vamana, the Sriman Narayana. Whoever chants his name will get the highest place in the heaven, will get the mukti immediately, which is the verse from Rig Veda, which is the verse from Vishnu Sukta, which we chant daily. And Adishankara Bhagavatpada, he wrote Vashyan Vishnu Sahasranama, Arda Vishanna Sidilasta Veda, Gvereshu Vyadishu Vartamanaha Sankirtya Narayana Saptamatram Vimukta Dukka Sukhino Bhavantu. Arda Vishanna Sidilasta Veda, Gvereshu Vyadishu Vartamanaha, and all the sins and sorrows and diseases are removed from a person who is doing the Narayana Sankirtya Narayana Saptamatram Vimukta Dukka Sukhino Bhavantu. This is the verse from the Vishnu Sahasranama. So it's all this together, all these Vyakhyanas of the Vedas and Puranas and Sahasranama together formed the creation of the great worship and the simplest worship, which is the Nama-Sankeerthanam. The next slide, please. Next. Purandaradasa. Purandaradasa, everyone knows. Sangeeta Pitamaha in 14th century made the musical form of worship via songs and kritis predominant. Also, other renowned sadhus like Annamacharya and Tirupati and Namadev Jnaneshwar Maharaj, Gora Kumbar, who lived in the same period in Pandharpur, they created abhangs. Abhangs, they used to say, bhang. Bhang means no, there is something evil or bad. Bhang means there is no evil or bad. It's absolutely pure. Sung on the God Panduranga Vitala, which is none other than Sakshat Shriman Krishna in the standing form as Panduranga in Pandharpur. So they also sowed the seeds by singing abhangs in 13th century. There is a Purandaradasa Kriti. Harinarayana, 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 Yanavanave, Narayana Vamba, Namadabi Java, Naradabi Didadharayolake. Purandardasa says, Narada out the stage for this Narayana Nama, Narayana Harinama Sankeertana. He says he only sought the seats. The ruler, yeah, he used to chant, Narayana used to chant, have a tambura in hand and towel in his hand and tambura hanging on to his body, and he used to sing Narayana and the music. So he only served the seats for the Nama Sankeertana. The ruler Dhruva Nindu Angurisidu Gadu. Dhruva, when the small child of 6 years, he started chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva Nama. The seed began to grow a bit as a bud. The Varapraklada Ninda Molakeya Yidu. When Praklada, a small kid, he opposed his father for the Narayana, for chanting the Narayana Nama, it grew a bit more. The Ranisa Rukmangada Nintusi Kuridu. When Rukmangada introduced the Ekadasi Vrata, started doing the Ekadasi Upavas, it grew a little more bit. Guru Pita Maganinda Huvayidu. In the last days, when Bhishmacharya, even on the arrow bed, he was put into the arrow bed by Arjuna. So with a lot of pain and other sorrows, he did Upatesha of the Vishnu Sahasranama to Yudhishthira on the arrow bed. At that time, it became a flower. Vijayana Sadiyinda Gaya Yidu Adu. When Draupadi just chanting by the Hari Nama in a very critical time, when Dushasana was harassing her, at the time when Bhagavan gave Kataksha to her, so at that time it became a raw, non-edible fruit. Then Gajendra Dhoraninna Anna. Gajendra is just a 5 cents, it's an animal, it's an elephant, and out of bhakti, it brought Bhagavan to the place to rescue it from the crocodile. So at that time, it grew a little bit. Gajendra Dhoraninna Anna idu Dvija Sukamuni in the Balapakkovaitu. The Sukacharya, he did Upatesha of Bhagavata Mahapurana for 7 days in a Saptaham to Parikshit. Parikshit was the grandson of Arjuna. So he was the last left in the dynasty, and he had a curse from a rishi, and he has to be bitten by a snake in 7 days. Even at that time, instead of enjoying the worldly things, he came and sat with Sukacharya, and he listened to the Bhagavad Mahapurana. At that time, it became an edible fruit, ripe fruit, ready to eat. So who ate that fruit? Who got all the phala of all these penances and sacrifices by all these bhakta, Dhruva, Praklada, Rupangada, Bhishma Pitamaha, Draupadi, Gajendra, and Sukacharya and Parikshit, who ate the fruit of created by all the sacrifices and penances and bhakti of all these great Mahans. And that I will tell after playing a small Namavali. Please play a Namavali. Nama Sankeerthanam clip. back to slide. Radheshyama Madhuranam ki jai. So you all heard Nama Sankeertana. I was just singing Radhe Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, and it is just no. We had all the musical. Huh? Hello. Yeah. So we had all the musical things. We had percussion, mridangam, we had harmony, and we had people singing together. And I was also singing, and I was not singing a sentence. I was not singing a song, but I was just reciting the name of Bhagavan Krishna with Radha, with this concert Radha. I was just singing Radha Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna repeatedly. This is what is the Nama Sankeerthanam. It has nothing else other than the singing of Bhagavan Nama in a musical form. This is the core of the Nama Sankeerthanam. You take any god, you take Panduranga, 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 take Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai. You repeatedly singing the Bhagavan's verses. This what is the Nama Sankeerthanam. That is the easiest way of Nama Sankeerthanam. That's what a Bhakta used to sing on this Jagat Gurus of Nama Sankeerthanam, Bodhi Saraswati Swamigal, Sridhar Venkatesh Ayyawal, and Maradana Sadguru Swami, the three predominant gurus of Nama Sankeerthanam, used to say, Baku Sulabha Mukha Bhakti Miru Iti Sukampani Maravaranu Teliye Leruni Goru Teliye Manasa. Bahu Sulabha Mukha Bhakti Miro iti. So company, in the simplest form of worship, you are giving this much of pleasure and joy of realizing Bhagavan. This is what is the concept of the Nama Sankeerthanam found by these three Jagat Gurus. And before going to the Jagat Guru sect, and let me conclude the Purandaradasa Kriti, who ate the essence of the fruit, the ripened fruit created by all the penance and bhakti and sacrifice of all those bhaktas, including Draupadi, Prahlada, Dhruva, Rukmangada, Bhishmacharya, Gajendra, and Parikshit, and Sukacharya. It was Ajamila. Ajamila is referred to as a sinner who did all the sins in his lifetime, in the Purana time, and he had many wives, and he had 10 sons, and the last of the son he named unknowingly. He had no bhakti, he has never worshipped God, but unknowingly he has kept because the name was nice, he was he named his last son as Narayana. In his deathbed, the Yamadutas, the Kinkaras, came to take him to the hell. So what happened? He was afraid on the seeing on the form of the Kinkaras, the Yamadutas, their demon form. So he shouted at his 10th son, "Oh Narayana, come here, come here. Some demons have come to take me." So as soon as he chanted the Narayana Nama, the same instant the Vishnudutas appeared there and took him to the Vaikuntha, because saying that he chanted is the Narayana Nama. The one who chanted Narayana Nama should not go to the hell. So that is what is the rule which Bhagavan has kept, and which the Sankalpa he has promised the Bhagavad Gita as Aham Bhakta Paradinaha. Whoever does bhakti to me, whoever chants my name, as mentioned in the Asya Girayo Janasaka, Uruchitikim Sujanika Masakara in the Vedas and Alotya Sarvasastrani, Vicharyasya Punapunaha, Itamyeham Sarishpannoho, Deyoho, Narayanaha Sada, as mentioned, whoever chants the Vishnu Nama will not go to the hell. So that is what sowed the seeds for the Nama Sankeertana, as mentioned by Purandaradasa. So we in the Kaliyuga, so we give, we are in the world of Kalmasha. Kalau Kalmasha Siddhanam, Pabatrayava Jivinam, Vidikriyaya Vihinanam Kathikir, Govinda Kirtan. As Sukacharya says, Kale Doshini Dehe Rajanne, Hastikeko Mahangunaha, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, Muktabandaha Paramrajat. Sukacharya is doing Upadesha to Parikshit Maharaja, Kale Doshini Dehe Rajan. Kaliyuga has all the doshas. You are bound to tell lies. You are bound to make sins out of the Kaliyuga environment. But Hastikeko Mahangunaha Kirtana Deva Krishnasya, if you want to get that good habit, good guna, good bhakti, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Muktabandham, on doing Krishna Kirtanam, everything will go away and good will come into your heart and in your mind and in your body, and you will get mukti. So that is what is the Upadesham given by the Sukacharya the great saint who created the son of Vyasacharya, who created the Bhagavata Mahapurana on Sriman Narayana, and as Purandradasa says, the ruler Narada Vitita Dharayolake, he says the Narada South cheats, but in what we Bhaktas in South India, we say Sakshat Narayana himself came down in Kaliyuga into this earth, and he was born, he was reborn. After the Dasava, he did the Dasavatara, he did the Krishnavatara, and he was seen as in the name of Purushottaman, and was born in the Mandana Mishra Agraharam in Kanchipuram as Bodhendra Saraswati Swami. Paramakarunaya Pangaja Nayana. We say only Narayana Tirtha says, describes Krishna as Pangajanayana. Oh, the lotus-eyed one, the one who has the ocean of Karuna, Paramakarunaya Pangaja Nayana Bodhendra Guru Rupena. Rakshitum Avanau Sarvanjandun Ramakya Amrita Sikshito Miswara Namavibata Sprutikala Shruti Sata Manena. Spruti and Shruti are the Vedas. Who protected the Vedas? In the Masyavadara, Sakshat Sriman Narayana was the first avatar to protect the Vedas. So in that Masya Avatara, you protected the Vedas and you gave Amrita to the Devas, elixir to Devas, to be eternal. Like that in Kaliyuga, what you did, you are present. Yes, Bodhendra Saraswati, Bodhendra Guru Rupena, and you are what you are giving, Amrita, what you are giving in the form of Rama, Rama Nama, Rama Kya Amrita. So you have given us the elixir, the Amrita of Rama Nama. Just say Rama, 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 Rama. Rama, 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 Chandraya Mangalo. That's what we would chant. Tomorrow when I say about the divine weddings, the divine wedding of Sita and Rama is not going to be performed with any Vedas or with any rituals. It is going to be sung with Rama, 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 Rama. Just by chanting the Bhagavan Nama, the Sita Rama Mahotsavam is done. I will tell you how simplest it is, created by the Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal, who was the pontiff of Kanchi Kamakoti Mat of Kanchipuram, as 59th Jagat Guru in the Adi Shankara's lineage. Bodhendra Swamigal being one of the most prominent among them as 59th pontiff. It was Sri Bodhendra who stressed the efficacy of devotion as a means to the liberation in this Kaliyuga. So in the Kaliyuga, as Sukacharya said, Bodhendra Saraswati also stressed the Ramanama will give the liberation. Sri Bodhendra obtained asceticism in Kashi, a rare event in Kanchi Kamakoti Pitam. Purushottaman was given Diksha as Bhagavan Nama Bodhendra by his Guru. Bodhendra's Guru was Atma Bodhendra Swamigal, his predecessor, and the 58th pontiff of Kanchi Kamakoti Pitam. He was in Kanchipuram, and Atma Bodhendra had to travel to Kashi to have the worship of Kashi Vishwanatha. Meantime, he left his two disciples, Jnana Shekhara and Bodhendra, was in the Purvashrama. His name was Purushottaman. After some time, both when Purushottama's parents died, and Purushottama and Jnanashekaran decided to travel to Kashi to meet their Guru. So on the way, they did they promised each other that if one dies in the journey, it was only a foot journey, the other will also jump into the river or go to the Kasi and jump into the Ganga, and they will give their life in front of the Guru. So that is what their promise was, and like that on the shores of Narmada, Jnanashekaran has to die, and he died out of, he was not well, he became ill and fell dead. So what Purushottaman decided was, he decided to travel to Kashi and meet his Jagat Guru and jump into the Ganga and give his life to Bhagavan. So that's what he went and met his Guru. When he told what had happened, he gave the Atma Bodhendra Swamigal gave him an alternative. So you are dead as a normal as a laukika, you give it, and now you are alive as a sannyasa. So you take diksha, it means that your laukika life, laukika human is dead, and you are live as uh, as a sannyasi, and you always chant Ramanama and do service to Chandramaulishwara in Kanchi Kamakoti and Lord Rama. So he was given dikshas by Bhagavan Nama Bodha. So in Kanchi Kamakoti Pitam, the last title will be Indra Saraswati. So he was named Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal, like how Bharati Tirtha and Abhinava Mahatirtha Tirtha Swamigal in Sringeri Mat, like that in Kanchi Kamakoti, Indra Saraswati. So he was given as Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal. His predecessor Atma Bodhendral commanded Sri Bodhendral to spread Bhagavan Nama, following the footsteps of Kabir Das, Tulsi Das, Mirabai, Krishna Chaitanya, Namadeva, Ekanath, and Samartha Ramadas. So there were so many people who did Nama Sankeertana, who did philosophy and Nama Sankeertana before Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal. So what was predominant on Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal was that important. Next slide, please. So what was the predominant of Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal philosophy was that Nama Sankeerthanam in accordance with Vedic scriptures. Because the conservative society should not deny this way of worship. See, Kabir Das used to chant, he was brought up by a Musalman. So many people, they don't know, they criticize. So Kabir ka dohe, he says Ram and Rahim are same. Like that, though he used to chant, he was a great bhakta of Rama. Still, he was not taken to the conservative Vedic society, like Tulasi Dasa, he was in North India, he wrote Tulasi Ramayana. No, there is not certain specified way of worship mentioned by him. There was not a strong philosophy created by him, though he was a great bhakta. Like Mirabai, she used to travel by foot from Rajasthan. She traveled by foot from Rajasthan to Vrindavan. Where she says, Ali Mohila Kat Vrindavanani ko Nirmalanita Bhagata Yamuna go Bojana Duda Dahi go. So I'm not a Mirabai says, I don't bother, even if I don't get food, I will get milk and curd from the Yadavas who are taking care of the cows here in Vrindavan. I will drink a pure water from Yamuna. Said there is no worry for me. I will keep on chanting the Krishna Nama. I will do Krishna Nama Sankirtana. So she sang so many Krishna bhajans like that. Surdas was blind. Even in his blind state, he used to have Krishna Darshan and he used to sing Krishna bhajans. So all of them did Nama Sankeertana. Like Samartha Ramadasa, he introduced Harikatha in South India. He came and settled in Tanjavur. He was the guru of Shivaji Maharaj. As Samartha Ramadas, he introduced the Harikatha Kalachema. So while singing, he used to describe the stories of Lord Sri Ramachandra Murthy, who was a great devotee of Rama, and he sowed the seeds for Harikatha. So all of them together, they didn't give the specific format for the generations to come in accordance with the Vedic scriptures. Because if they are not going in accordance with Vedic scriptures and Anushtanas, this is not going to be accepted at the higher level, at the conservative level. The people who are doing the Trikala Sandhyavantana and they are doing the Upasana, everyone should authorize this as this is the best way of worship. So no one should give any pass on any negativity on the way of worship. They should not they could it should go to the elite class. So this Nama Sankeertana was created carefully in accordance with Vedic scriptures, which what I told, in accordance with the Purana slokas, Aloti Sarvasastrani, Vishnur Ganancha, Nrittancha, Nadanancha Visheshataha, Brahmana Jatina, Kartyapyam Harikirtanam. As the Vishnu Purana says, Vishnur Ganancha, you sing, Vishnur Nrittancha, Nadanancha, you sing, dance with Baba, and the Vishesha grows more. The effect grows more. Even though the one who is not a Brahmin, that is one who is belonging to any caste, becomes a Brahmin, not just Brahmin by birth. What they mean in Vishnu Purana, Brahmin who is doing the Nitya Karma Anushtana, who is doing the Anushtanas, who is doing the pujas, who is doing the regular, as what a regular Brahmin has to do with the Trikala Sandhya Vandana, Upasana, everything. One becomes a proper Anushtana doing Brahmin. One who does this Vishnu Ghanancha Natancha, Nanancha Visheshata, Brahmana, Brahmana Jatinam, Kartavyam, Nitya Karma. One who is not doing even a single day, who is doing the Brahminic rituals, the person becomes the same on chanting the Vishnu Nama. So it was all these verses were carefully taken into account. Bodhendral keeps 6 points. First one who is doing the Nama Sankeertana, he surely is having some effect of good from his previous birth. Without that, he will not recite. Yeah, a stranger will not come, will come down to the earth and recite the Nama Sankeertana. If he is reciting Nama Sankeertana, he has got some boon in the previous birth. The second one who is not doing the Nama Sankeertana. Not everyone is doing the Nama Sankeertana. So one who is doing the Nama Sankeertana, one who is not doing the Nama Sankeertana surely has a curse in the previous birth, that he will not worship Bhagavan in this birth. So this is the second predominant point. Third one is from, as I already told you, from the Vishnu Sukta. The Veda says if you recite the Vishnu Nama, you get the highest place in the heaven. And the fourth one is the Purana says Aloti Sarvasastrani. You chant Vishnu Nama, you get the highest place in the heaven. Even Kripacharya says Dagatyeva Harirharadi Babani, Dushtasidderepi Samrataha, Anichyabi Samprushto, Dahatyeva Hipavukha. So Hari Nama and chanting immediately gives a good effect. He gives an example. You touch the fire, how it immediately burns, instantly burns your hand. Like that, Vishnu Nama is a fire. You say, you chant it just once, and the good thing is going to follow you instantly. As quick as you, the fire burns on touching, the Vishnu Nama is going to be effective to you in a good way. So that is what the Kripacharya says. Vidura says, Hare Nama Iva Mama Jivanam Kalu Nastyeva Gati Anyata Nama. Without Nama, there is no Gati for me in this Kaliyuga. Only the Vishnu Nama is the sole protection for me. So this is the fourth point, is the Purana slokas. And the fifth point, the Vishnu Sahasranama. Sangitya Narayana Sabdamatram Mukta Dukha Sukhino Bhavantu Sakala Vyadishu Vardhamana Sakala. All these diseases and sins are going to be removed just by the Sankirtana of the Narayana. And the sixth vital point is what this philosophy mentions is in accordance with the Vedic structures. You have to do your Nitya Karmanushtana, you have to do your Santhya Vandana, you have to do your Pitru Puja, you have to be keep yourself sanctified, very steady on the Bhagavan Nama and the rituals. Then only this Nama Sankeertanam will create effect on you. Though it has saved Ajamila, even he committed sins, but it will definitely save you, but keep you prosperous, happy and healthy throughout the life. This has to be in accordance with the daily rituals. Daily rituals has to be followed. Then when the Namas, to get the 100% effect of the full effect of the Nama Sankeertanam, this was the sixth vital point, as he has created carefully in accordance with the Vedic scriptures. Though no Veda, no sacrifices, no rituals is included in the concept of Nama Sankeertanam, but it comes along with the rituals, though it is a separate form of worship, which is it is not inclusive into it, but it is kind of in accordance with the Vedic scriptures. Is what you have to follow your rituals, you have to do your regular Nitya Karma Anushtanas to get the full effect of Nama Sankeertanam. So how Bodhendral got this philosophy is after instructing Sri Bodhendral to proceed to Kanchimat. Atma Bodhendral remained in Kashi. As his guru commanded, Bodhendral proceeded to Puri Jagannath to obtain Nama Kaumudi. Kaumudi means moon. A masterly work written by Lakshmidhara Kavi. He once lived in Puri Jagannath Kshetra, which propounded that Nama Japam and Bhajan were in accordance with Vedic scriptures. Kaumudi means moon. Sri Atma Bodhendral asked Bodhendral to use Nama Kaumudi to ward off resistance from conservatives who would claim Nama Siddhantam was contrary to Vedic tradition. So Carefully, we have to note this point. Later, Sri Bodhendral would use Nama Kaumudi as foundation for many of his own works. So, Bodhendral had darshan of Balrama, Krishna, and Subhadra in Puri till the temple closed, and the night he spent a night in the out of a house unobtrusively. So Bodhendral was woke up on hearing a sound. Banging, some couple banging the door of a house, but decided to watch the event from darkness. The Brahmin was accompanied by a Muslim lady covered in veil. A Muslim lady was wearing parda, and when the house owner opened the door, the Brahmin started narrating his tale in tears. The lady in veil was his wife, although disguised in Islamic outfit. They left Tamil Nadu for Kashi, but were waylaid in Bahmani kingdom. Bahmani kingdom was ruled by Muslims those days. The lady was dishonored, harassed, and disfigured by Muslim extremists. But she managed to escape the terror and joined her husband months later. When they decided to take their life, in those days, they would not accept a lady who was going to be was taken by abducted by a Muslim and left back. They decided to leave their life, but someone told them when they decided to take their lives, an elder person advised them to approach Lakshmikant, son of Lakshmidhara Kavi, for purification instead. Thus, Sri Bodhendral ended up at the right place to seek Nama Kaumudi by Lord Jagannath's grace. So, what happened? In Nama Kaumudi, Lakshmidhara Kavi has written, if you chant Rama Nama, all your sins, all your bad, evil things are going to get washed away instantly. As I told, how Kripacharya has told, the effect is going to be instant, like touching the fire, immediately it burns. By chanting the Ramanama, Harinama, the good thing is going to come to you instantly. That is what is the main core of the philosophy, core thing of the philosophy written in the Nama Kaumudi, later introduced by Bodhendra Swamigal. Next slide, please. Next slide. As per Lakshmikant's advice, the Brahmin couple came to Chandan Talab the next day. There is a lake. He took a pond. He took the couple to the pond. While everyone was watching, the lady entered the lake and chanted Rama 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 with devotion. When she emerged out of water, her disfiguration and Islamic outfit were gone, and she came out as a traditional Brahmin lady, exuding saintliness. This miracle established the effectiveness of Ramanamam in popular mind. And later, Sri Bodhendral took the couple with him to Kanchi as living proof for Nama Siddhanta. When Sri Bodhendral informed his intent to Lakshmikant, he was given Nama Kaumudi. Its author, Lakshmidhara Kavi, had instructed his wife before his death to preserve Nama Kaumudi and pass it on to a saint from South India who would approach her years later. So the Lakshmidhara Kavi was not there, but he knew that Mahan would come in search of the book as told by Atma Bodhendra Saraswati. So he had left the great Grantha to his wife to be given to the Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal, who is none other than Sakshat Sriman Narayana's form in the Kaliyuga. So as per Guru's wishes, Bodhendral returned to Kanchi, then settled in Govindapuram on banks of Kaveri, devoted his life to preach the importance of Nama Japam and Bhajan. So Bodhendral went to the Kanchi, then he later settled on the banks of Kaveri near Kumbakonam in Govindapuram. Govindapuram is now also, his Adhishtanam is available, and the approaching Malaya Dwadasi. This Malaya Paksha is starting tomorrow. And the Dwadasi, the 12th day of the Malaya Paksha, is his Aradhana day, the day where he attained Mukti on the banks of Kaveri. But his Adhishtanam was discovered 100 years later by Mardana Sadguru Swamigal, the Sakshat incarnation of Rama. With the help of Tanjavur Maharaja, he found the Adhishtana of Bodhendra Swamigal, and he has built a mutt there. And even devotees say now also you keep your ears near the Adhishtana, they could hear the Ramanama. The Bodhendra Swamigal even keeps chanting the Ramanama into the Adhishtana. Sri Bodhendral elaborated Nama Kaumudi and composed 8 books: Namamrita Rasodayam, Namamrita Rasayanam, Nama Suryodayam, Nama Tarangam, Namarnavam, Harihara Beda Dikaram, Harar Dvaita Bhushanam, Murta Brahma Vivekam. These books conclusively established Nama Siddhanta. Sri Bodhendral gave Ramanama Diksha to individuals while asking them to chant Govinda and Haranamam as groups. Bodhendral started wearing Vaishnava symbol of Urdhva Pundram instead of traditional Saivate symbol of Vibhuti during this phase. So Urdhva is what you apply vibhuti. Over that you have the straight Urdhva that says that both Mahavishnu and Mahavishnu and Parameshwara. He used to chant 108 108 Rama Namas every day, and even today you can get Rama Nama Diksha in the Bodhendra Saraswati Math. After getting, you need to chant the Rama Nama and keep chanting every Ramanama. The Bhaktas get sanctified. Tanjore King Shahaji became a devotee of Bodhendral, and in 1677, Tanisha, Nawab of Golconda, paid tributes to Bodhendral. Among the miracles attributed to Sri Bodhendral, he made a dumb boy chant Bhagavan Namam, and he cured Brahma Rakshas by chanting Ramanamam. Next slide. Sri Bodhendral had great respect and affection for Sri Ayyawal. So, as we mentioned, one of these granthas, Harihara Beda Dikara. So, Bodhendral never stopped with Harinama. He also advised Shivanama devotees. So, Harihara Bedam, there should not be any Bedam between Hari and Hara. So, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all the three Murtis are predominant. So, there should not be any discrimination or any dispute on the who is superior and who is inferior. So Hari Hara both are same. So that's why Bodhendra Saraswati Swami, he was very friendly with the incarnation of Parameshwara, to be said as Sridhar Venkatesh Ayyawal. So he was one of his close friend and philosophers of the same time in a kshetra called Thiruvisanallur. Thiruvisanallur is a Rishabharashi Sthalam. It is also closely located near Govindapuram. It is also located on the banks of Kaveri near the Mahalinga Kshetra, Trivadamardur. So who this Sridhar Ayyawal is? Sridhar Ayyawal was born in Mysore. His father was Divan to the Mysore Maharaja. Out of bhakti, he after his father's demise, he was also offered the same Divan post, but he didn't want to enjoy any government post or Raja Maryada. He just wanted to devote his time doing worship to Parameshwara. And Bodhendral used to, who reciprocate the emotion in his works, Namamrita Rasodhyam, Nama Rasayanam. Sri Bodhendral quoted Sri Ayyawal's Bhagavan Nama Bhushanam as reference. Even before they met, Sri Bodhendral met Sri Ayyawal in Tanjavur province. Sri Bodhendral even composed a song for his disciple to worship Sri Ayyawal, who was elder to him. Bodhendral was a Jagat Guru, but Ayyawal was a mere Shiva Bhakta. Even then, Bodhendral wrote a verse on praise of Ayyawal. Iche tasya chanamani pravimalam jnanam tayoho urjidam Prema Chatat Pareshu Viradischa Anyatra Sarvatra Isecha. This Ayyawal is none other than Parameshwara. Anyatra Sarvatra Isecha Karunacha Yasya Nedavriti Shadasyabi Yam Tamande Nararupam Andagaripum Sri Venkatesham Gurum. Though I didn't have the darshan of Parameshwara till date, just now I had the darshan in the form of Jagat Guru Sri Ayyawal, who is none other than Parameshwara, with the same Karuna of Parameshwara. So Bodhendral used to sing this verse on Ayyawal. In reciprocal Ayyawal worshipped Bodhendral. That's Yasyasmarana Matrena Namabhakti Prajayate Tam Namami Yadisreshtam Bodhendram Jagadam Guru. And you are the Jagat Guru, and you are given the philosophy of Namasmarana. So both are very close. And they formed this philosophy together. Bodhendral is mentioned as first guru of Nama-Sankeerthanam, and Sridhar Venkatesh Ayyawal is mentioned as the second guru, and he has introduced also the Sivanama into this Nama-Sankeerthanam. First, Bodhendral started with Rama Nama-Sankeerthanam. Later, it was also the Shivanama was added together, is formed as Nama-Sankeerthanam. So, next slide, please. Sri Ayyawal was the embodiment of humility. For the sake of uplifting man, he composed many works: Bhagavan Nama Bhushanam, Akya Shashti, Daya Shatakam, Studi Paddhati, Shiva Bhakti Kalpalata, Shiva Bhakta Lakshanam, Achyudashtakam, Dolara Navaratna Malika, or a flute name. Though titled differently, all these works are primarily about the greatness and glory of the divine names of the Lord. Sri Bhagavanama Bodhendra Swamigal was a contemporary of Sri Ayyawal. Sri Bodhendra Swamigal had deep reverence for Sri Ayyawal. They used to meet often and enjoy the bliss of talking about the glory of the Lord. Though Sridhara Ayyawal saw no difference in the prowess of Lord Shiva's name, Lord Vishnu's name, he loved chanting the names of Lord Shiva. Similarly, Sri Bodhendra loved the name of Rama more than anything. When Sri Bodhendra Swamigal read the work of Sridhara Ayyawal named Akya Shashti, which primarily talked only about the greatness of Lord Shiva's name in 60 verses, he said, you could have named this work as Shiva Akya Shashti instead of Akya Shashti. I thought all the names of the Lord are equally sweet and powerful. You have chosen to sing the greatness of only one of them. Why is it so? Don't you like singing the divine name of Lord Rama? The moment Sridhara Ayyawal heard this from the great saint, he replied in a beautiful verse, emphasizing the greatness of divine name of Lord Rama by Lord Shiva, the glory of whose name I have sung in 60 verses. Himself does not cease to chant the divine name Rama, even for a moment, out of such a taste and love for that name. How can I dare to describe the beauty and glory of divine name of Rama? What he mentioned, Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Dattulyam Rama Nama Varanane, as what Lord Sri Rama was told, Parameshwara told, which is currently included in the Vishnu Sahasranama, as Parameshwara is saying that if he says 3 times Ramanama, it is equivalent to say 1000 Ramanamas, 1008 Ramanamas. So that was the effect of the Ramanama when Parameshwara himself has told that Ramanama is very effective. How would I dare to say that, talk about Ramanama, which Parameshwara has spoken about? So that is what is the, it shows that he is none other than Sakshat Parameshwara himself. So Sridhara Ayyawal was born in Mysore and was the son of Sridhara Dingaraya. As I already told you, Ayyawal's father was Divan of Mysore kingdom, and Ayyawal, a staunch devotee of Hindu god Shiva, was offered the post of Divan. Upon his father's death, he rejected the offer. So he came to the Kaveri Delta region. First he was in Trichy, and then he migrated to the Tanjavur Maratha kingdom. Shortly afterwards, he restored a Brahmin dead of snake bite to life and thus acquired a reputation as a miracle worker. He was attracted to Mahalingeshwar shrine at Thirudamardur and set up his house at neighboring village of Thirudamardur. He used to visit the nearby Karkateshwara temple, which is called as Rishabharasistaram Shiva temple daily. Next slide, please. Okay, and Sridhara, before starting Marudan Sadguru Swamigal, the Sridhara Ayyawal, he brought a Ganges to Tanjavur district, to Thiruvasanallur, to flow into his village by creating a miracle. One time he was performing Shraddha, and he was and his wife was cooking for the Shraddha Brahmanas, to be fed to the Shraddha Brahmanas. So at that time, what happened? A hut behind his house, there lived, in those times, Dalit people. So they wanted to untouchable class. And of those days, we should not tell that it now. So they were they begged him out of hunger, and he fed them with all he has cooked for the Shraddha. So on knowing this, the Brahmins who had come for the Shraddha, they have to sit and have bhojan for the Shraddha. Mukkandi Devudu Manayandu Sakshat Karinji Nararupa Mundina Kathalu. The Kirtana on his name, it is available. So they refused to come. They sit as on the 3 leaves to have the bhojan. So then Sakshat Brahma, Shiva and Mahavishnu, they came and had the bhojan and helped him perform the Shraddha. And the next year, what happened? Next year also, these Brahmins, out of this deed, as he had fed to the poor, they refused to come to the Shraddha, and they wanted him to go to the Kashi, have a snana on the Ganges and come back here. Then only he will get sanctified. But he he cried to Parameshwara, where would I go? Because in those days it would take 6 months to reach Kashi by foot. There was no mode of transport. So he has to, next day he had to do his Shraddha, and he prayed to the Parameshwara, and the Ganges flowed out of the well in his house. And it drenched not only the same street, the entire village. Then the Brahmins pleaded to him. They accepted him, Sakshat Parameshwara Swarupa, and this was Ganga, and asked him to take back the Ganges. Then he chanted the Gangashtakam. And the Ganges then went into the well and everything. Then the Brahmins attended and helped him to perform the Shraddha. So that is what is celebrated as Kartika Amavasya. So the approaching in the November month in the Kartika Vrichika Masa Amavasa. So this Kartika Amavasa is celebrated, and Bhaktas are 10 days. Utsava Bhaktas, Bhagavatas daily used to do Nama-Sankeerthanam and celebrate the greatness of Ayyawal. And in few days, he never had the human kind of death. No, he just went into the Mahalinga. Mahalinga Garbhagraha just vanished into that. So, Shri Guru Sridhara Venkatesha Prabhu Makuni Daya Kavala Shivanama Parayana Pannaka Vidinuda Pavitra Madhyajina Sannitilo Jyoti Rupamai TV Sishya Kotulaku Chinmayamai. And when his Sishyas were watching, he just entered into the Garbhagraha of Mahalinga Sakshat Parameshwara, just vanished in the form of Jyoti to Kailasha. So that is the greatness of Ayyawal, the second predominant guru of Nama-Sankeerthanam, and the third guru is Sadguru Swamigal. Is just mentioned as, though we have put Mardana Sadguru Swamigal, the one who is mentioned as Sadguru before any prefix, before any name, there is no name mentioned in the prefix. He is just Sadguru, means it is Mardana Sadguru Swamigal. So that is, he is the main predominant guru who formed all this Nama Sankeertana format, the Kalyana Utsavam, everything to be, he presented to the current generation to present it in the easiest form, in the way of bhajan, in the way of Sampradaya, Prachina Sampradaya. Nama Sankeertanam is what? The incarnation of Sakshat Sri Rama. Before going to this history, let me chant a verse from Ayodhya Kanta of Valmiki Ramayana. Adrushta Dukko Dharmatma Sarvabhuta Priyambataha Maijato Dasaratate Kata Munchena Vartayete. This is what the Kausalya says. In those days, wives not used to call their husband names. They used to give Swami, Natha, like that. But Kausalya says, Hey Dasaratha. Maijato Dasaratate Katam Unchena Vartayet. It is enough that if Rama takes Unjurti. Adrushta Dukko Dharmatma, he has never seen a sorrow. Sarvabhuta Priya, he is very friendly to everyone. So let him not go to the exile. Let him take Unjurti. He does not need any Raja. He will take Bhiksha daily, and I will go and live with him. And we don't want any Raja. So he pleads, she pleads to Dasaratha. Though Sri Ramachandramurti had no objection to what his mother said, but he wanted to do his Avatara Sankalpa is Pitruvakya, Paripalanam. His father's word should not go as lies. So no, you want to establish what is the boon which his father has given to his stepmother Kaikeyi. So he went for 14 years exile in Kaliyuga, but his heart said something that he was able to do Pitruvakya Paripalana, but he was not able to obey his mother. She wanted him to take Unjavurti, which he could not perform throughout his lifetime due to other, even after returning from exile, he had to do other Rajya Paripalana. So in the next birth in Kaliyuga, he wanted to be born. He was born as Sadguru Swamigal, as Venkatrama Desika, popularly known as Mardal Sadguru Swamigal, and he established the Unchavurti Dharma by chanting Ramanama. Devotees offer bhiksha, and he used to he made a living out of it. So that is the Sakshat, the incarnation of Rama is Sadguru Swamigal. Before going to Sadguru Swamigal, let us play a Nama Sankeertanam. Okay. In this clip, we could see people know one is in the form of Krishna, and people were devotees were dancing around him out of bhava. Says that he is Krishna has come here and listen to the Nama Sankeerthanam. This what is the main theme of the Nama Sankeerthanam as given by the Mardana Sadhguru Swamigal as per the chant Vishnur Ganancha Nrittancha Nadanancha Visheshatha. So just not just by singing and also by doing nrityam and natyam. Natyam is doing the with bhava, saying that Bhagavan. One is enacting as Krishna, others enacting as bhaktas like that as a bhavam. So this bhava bhakti is what formed the core of the Nama Sankeerthanam. Slide please for Mardana Sadhguru Swami. Previous Mardana Sadhguru Swami. Previously, okay. Sadhguru Swami to be remembered as that one who formulated the Sampradaya Bhajan and Nama Sankeerthanam. In a format, he is giving a format. Bodhindral says Rama, 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 you keep reciting, you get mukti. And Sri Rayal says Shiva, 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 you get mukti. And this Mardana Sadhguru Swami is arranging a format for the same. What they have done is collecting everything together and arranging a format and popularize the same in the interest of human society. He traveled north, length and breadth of the country in order to collect compilations of many saints and devotees and made existing Sampradaya Bhajan. So he has gathered kirtis in all languages because there should not be omission of any language or any God in Hindu philosophy or Hindu dharma. So everyone should listen, everyone should understand. It should be easy for everyone. So he has included songs in all Indian languages in the Sampradaya. Sarabhoji Maharaja was a disciple of him. Swamigal found out the Jiva Samadhi of Odendra Swamigal in a river at Govindapuram. On his request, King Sarabhoji diverted the river and developed Sri Odendra Swamigal's Jiva Samadhi. He led his life as a Parama Bhagavata. He made Ramanama Mantrovadesam to Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja took Ramanama Sutra in Mandal Swamigal, but even the photo is available in the Mat now also. So he practiced Unjavurti Dharma daily. He attained Mukti in the year 1817. So there is a verse how he looked like Yasyangam Kanakapakama Satrusam Palam Tripundrangi. The Mardana Sadhguru Swamigal Kanakapa, he used to be golden in color. He used to be golden in color, used to be very bright, and he used to have the Tripundrangi, the Vipati on his forehead, and Urdhvapandu, he would Sakshat look like Parameshwara in form. Vani Sri Raghunatha Nama Satayabi Arda Sakrataya. His Vani means tongue. In his tongue, 108 Ramanamas will float spontaneously, like how in Vasudra Homa we are doing during Sashti Abdabhurti we used to do Vasudra Homa, and that they will pour spontaneously the ghee into the Homa fire, the Agni. So like that spontaneously the Ramanama used to flow from his mouth, 108 Ramanamas every day. Chedasi Ampujalochano Yadupati, on his heart was Sakshat Shri Krishna. Always he was thinking of Krishna Bhakti, was Krishna Leelas, everything. He was enjoying Krishna in his heart. Chedasi Ambujalochano Yadupati, Kelatalam Radha Tambahi, Venkatarama Desikavara Sarvatmana Hamade. This was the Sadhguru Swamigal. He introduced this Nama Sankeerthanam format in the current form. Next slide, please. So this is the Sampradaya created by Sadhguru Swamigal Mardanalu in accordance with the Vedic scriptures. The first is the chanting. The Nama Sankeerthanam is begin as let us play one clip. Nama Sankeerthanam clip. So Sita Ram, Rajaram, any Vishnu Nama, it has to be Hari Narayana predominantly. But you can have Radha Krishna or Sita Ram, any Vishnu Nama can be chanted, can be sung in the beginning of the Nama Sankeertana to keep everyone, all the devotees engaged and engaged and get into the Nama Sankeertana vibration. So then we chant the Dhyana sloka, the set of each slots with Shuklam Brother Vishnu as Vishnu Sahasranama. Then we chant the Dhyana slokas of three gurus, Bodhendra Saraswati Swamigal, Ayyaval and Sadguru Swami Lesyangam, Kanakapakam Chatra, what I recited now. After that, we go to the Vishnu Mahima slokas, Vishnu Ganancha, Nitancha, Narancha Viseshataka, and Alote Sarvasastrani, and we can also chant the slokas on Rama, Vaidegi Sagitam, Surundrumadle, Hime, Mahamandabe, Madhya, Shokasane Manime, Virasane system, Agre, Vachi, Prapanjanas, Munipiha, Param Jakchandam, Pradadi, Paripudam, Ramam, Bajesh, Sham, like that, and Krishna also, Kasturi, the Lakam Ladap, like a Vexastre, Costum, Nazak, Renamoktim, Kardale, Venum, Krakenam, Sarbangi, Harindan, Chakla, and Kandes, Mukal, and Gobasri, Parivesh, the Chete, Gopala Chudavani, then on Pontranga, Samacharana Sorojam, Sandra, Nila Budabam, Jagan, Hitabani, Mandana, Mandaranam, the Sibalam, Kandaram, Ganyanadar, Sade, the Valahas, Mutalam, Chintayami, and Parameshwara, and Anjaney Swami. Then we start with the Tode Mangalam. What is Tode Mangalam? It derived from the word Dodde Mangalam. Dodde is a Telugu word meaning big. Mangalam is what? Mangalam is chanted at the end of any Hindu ritual. Mangalam means happy, Shubham. So it is. But why Swamigal has kept it in the beginning itself? Because we started with Harinayana. Once we start chanting Bhagavan Nama, Harinama, immediately the happiness starts. So the Mangala Harati is kept at the beginning. Say Dodde Mangalam. What is the Dodde Mangalam? Big Mangalam. It has a 5 kritis. First one is Jaya Janaki Ramana Jaya Vibhishana. It's a Bhadradila Ramadas kriti on Rama. First kriti. The second kriti is Charanu Surendra Sanuta Charanu Shri Sati Vallabha Annamaya kriti of Sakshat Shri Venkateshwara of Tirupati. Third one Muragarana Gadhara Mukunta Madhava. Third one, like in other tune they are singing in Tirupati, Narayanate Namo Namo Bhava Narada Sannuta Namo. The same song. The second 2 and 3 kritis are by Annamacharya of Tirupati. The last Devesha Ganaradita Divya Bhujapada. This is by Vijay Gopala Swami of of Tamil Nadu. He was a great Krishna Bhakta. He was doing Vatsalya Bhakti. And the 5th one is the Madhav Bhavatu Te Mangalam, which is also Vijay Gopala Swami. In the 5th song, we used to take Harati. Mangala Harati in the beginning itself. This is the difference, the Nama Sankeertanam and the other Hindu rituals. So on chanting the Bhagavan Nama, the happiness starts. So we take Harati every now and then in Nama Sankeertana. So this is the Todai Mangalam. Where the Swamigal got this? He got it from Tirupati. When he traveled to Tirupati, Annamaya's devotees, Annamacharya's devotees were singing this Todai Mangalam. He immediately brought it and put it as the first main song of the Nama Sankeertana. And the next one is the Guru Kirtana. We are singing about the Bodhendra Kriti, Ayyaval Kriti, and on Mardana Sadguru Swamigal. And the next is the most predominant one, the Jayadeva Ashtapati, which is otherwise called as Gita Govindam. So let me conclude this with the Sampradaya today, and tomorrow we'll go on with continue with the divine weddings. So the Jayadeva Ashtapadi is the Gita Govinda Kavya written by Jayadeva on Puri Jagannath in the Orissa Kshetra. It's in Sanskrit. There are 24 songs in the Ashtapadi, and it has one main concept. Only thing, Sadguru Jayadeva write this Ashtapadi on Krishna and Radha's Leela and the Virahatabam and the Pranaya Kalaham. And when Jayadeva writes this and sings, his consort Padmavati, his Dharmapatni Padmavati used to dance and do Baba as Vishnu or Ganancha Nattancha Nadancha Vishetaka. Hence what happened, 19th Ashtapadi, he wrote like Radha placing the foot on the head of Krishna. He thought it was wrong. He tried it and went to the Ganges for a snanam. And when he returned, he saw that someone has rewritten that. And when he inquired his wife, said he has he only came and returned. So then he realized that Sakshat Puri Jagannatha Krishna has come in his form and wrote what he has striked. So Bhagavan gave darshan to Padmavati, his wife, but not him. Though the Vyakyana people used to, scholars used to say that because Padmavati did Nritya and Natya, she got the darshan of Krishna quickly than Jayadeva Swami. Though he wrote the Jayadeva Ashtapadi, she danced and did bhava. So she got the darshan first. She got the kataksha of Bhagavan first. So that is the effect of the dancing and singing, dancing with bhava and singing the Bhagavan Nama. So then the Krishna Lila Tarangini means waves, and Krishna Lila waves were sung by Narayana Tirtha. He was born in Andhra, later settled in Tamil Nadu. He sang the from Krishna Jananam to Rukmini Kalyanam. He has written Sanskrit slokas and kritis, more than 100 kritis in 24 tarangams, 12 tarangams. Krishna Lila Tarangini we used to sing. Then the Bhadrajala Ramdas, as everyone knows, he settled in Golconda near Bhadrachalam. In Bhadrachalam, he built a temple for Rama, did Sita Kalayanam. He sang many Ramanama kritis, more than 40,000 kritis. He was then arrested by put in prison by the Tanisha of Golconda, Nawab of Golconda. Then later he was released by Sakshat Rama himself. His kritis he used to sing. Then Purandaradasa kriti. Then Sadashiva Brahmendral is Advaita philosopher, same in the Thiruvasanur Kshetra. So he has written Sanskrit kritis on Krishna and Rama. He used to sing that. Next, Gopala Krishna Bharati's Tamil kriti. So mention is Jayadeva Ashtapadi, Sanskrit, Krishna Lila Tarangini, Sanskrit, Bhadrajala Ramadasa is Telugu, Purandaradasa is Kannada, Sadashiva Brahmendral again Sanskrit, Gopala Krishna Bharati, songs on Parameshwara of Chidambaram, Nataraja of Chidambaram is in Tamil, and Tyagaraja kriti both in Telugu and Sanskrit, and Hindi bhajans of Kabirdas, Mirabai, Tulsi and Surdas. Then Maharashtra Abhangs, though at that time there were not so many Abhangs sung in Tamil Nadu, he had some 2-3 predominant Abhangs like Sundarate Dhyan and Dasachi Sampati, like that. He had 3-4 Hedayaluva, Hekirpalva. There's a few Abhangs given by Mardhan Sadguru Swami into the Sampradayam. Then we used to do Dhyana of Anjaneya Swami. Then we used to do Puja Vidhanam. We had set of songs for Puja Vidhanam, Dhuba, Deepa, Naivedyam, everything. And later we do Upachara Sankirtanam of Upachara Mulanu Chekunavaya Urakaraja Sena, written by Tyagaraja, like has how Rama did Upachara to his Kuladeva, Sakshat Ranganatha in Ayodhya. Same he has written in the kriti. So we are Sadguru Swami has put that kriti in the Upacharam stage of the Nama Sankeerthanam. Next slide, please. Next slide. So next is the no, before that one slide is gone. Okay, that one is the Divya Nama Sankeertanam. Then we do the Panchamukha Deepa. We light a Panchamukha Deepa of what you say in Tamil is a Kuttu Velakku, and it's a Panchamukha Deepa. We light that and we do Avahanam of Bhagavan of into the lamp, and we do Pradakshinam. Bhagavathas used to sing and dance, do Pradakshinam, chant Rama Nama, and there is a Sampradaya for that. First is a Deepa Avahanam, lighting the lamp and doing puja for it, doing Naivedyam and doing doing Karpura Harti for it, and keep it in the middle of the Bhajan Mantapa. Then chant the divine same Dhyana slokas we recited at the beginning of the Nama Sankeertana. Then sing Bhadrajala Ramdas kritis. These Ramdas kritis are different from the Telugu kritis. These are just Kamala Vallabha Govinda Mampagi Kalyana Krishna Govinda Alolla Tulasi Vanamala Bhushana Sri Rama Rama Gare. It is very easy to sing. It is a combination of different namas. Krishna, Krishna, Govinda, Krishna, Govinda, Govinda, Gopala. It's like very easy to sing. Like the 16 songs of Ramadas Kritis and Vijay Gopala Swami Kritis, as I mentioned, said, Pagimadan Gopala Mukunda Palita Muchukun, like that. And Tarangini also, Krishna Lila Tarangini, Nama Sankeertana Tarangini is there. Yogi Mudam Degi Sri Krishna, Krishna, Mampagi Gopala Bala, Krishna, Krishna. Instead of Vakyas, it will have more of Bhagavan Namas in between. Bhagavan Nama combined together in the tune and rhythm. This is what these songs are predominant. After the Krishna Latharani, we sing Tyagaraja. Tyagaraja also has written similar kritis like Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Shankara Ramayani, Sindhim Baradavo, Manasa. Then we chant the Gopika Gitam, the 18 slokas which the Gopika chanted for the Krishna Darshana in Vrindavana in the Dwapara Yuga. They, after chanting these 18 slokas, Krishna appeared them. We also, Bhagavatas also now sit around the lamp and chant this Gopika Gitam and pleading to Krishna to make appearance on the Deepa Avahana. And once the sloka, when the Gopika Gitam is over, Krishna appears among the bhaktas, not as he appeared in the Vrindavana, not as single Krishna, as 16,000 gopis, 16,000 Krishna, and he danced together. Like that, we also imagine. Believing that Krishna is coming here and dancing, so we do snake dance and Siddhar songs and Rasa Kritai, and like how Gopikas did, like Julata Radha and Gopi Gopala Bala, and then we sing the Parameshwara Dhyana. So because when this Rasalila happened in Vrindavana, Parameshwara came there and witnessed the beautiful Rasalila which Krishna was performing with the 16,000 gopis. So we used to do Prarthana to Parameshwara at this time. Then we do the Deepa Samaradhana and we bring the lamp back to the Bhagwan's place and we keep that, and we start the Dolotsam. Dolotsam is doing the swinging, about keeping the Bhagwan on the swing and also making to sleep, and we give milk. And Tyagaraja has written the set of songs. It's called Utsava Sampradaya Kritis. Arakim bhave pal, arakim bhave pal, for giving milk. Vitamo saye namo vidanadagave. For this is for Tambulam, and for sleep, Jojo Ragukula Tilaka Rama, Jojo Kutila Talareka Rama, Jojo Rama. Then we sing the 21st Ashtabadi and put the screen for him. And next day we do the crowing, and we release the screen and we do Karpura Harati with Puraya Mama Kamam of Narayana Tirtha. Puraya Mama Kamam Gopala Puraya as a Suprabhadam. So after reciting few Suprabhadam slokas, this Puraya Mama Kamam, the sleep is over and Bhagavan is awake. So this is what I'll conclude this with today, and tomorrow we will have I will start from the Unchurti and proceed with the divine Kalyana Utsavams, divine weddings.
It was a wonderful lecture, Ananthanarayan. It was absolutely fantastic to know so much beauty, so much art, so much diversity in the spiritual path, so full of life. I think this is the beauty of Sanatana Dharma. That and thanks to our ancestors, the great rishis, the Siddhars, and everybody, that we have reached the zenith in both intellectual aspect as well as the emotional aspect, both in Jnanam and in Bhakti. Viewers, if you have any questions, please type it in the Q&A box, and we'll wait for a few minutes if there are any questions. Meanwhile, Ananthanarayan, I have a question.
Okay.
You mentioned at the very beginning of the session that Nama-Sankeerthanam is the most easiest path to moksha in Kaliyuga. Can you shed more light on that? Why it is the easiest path, and in what way does it lead, take one closer to moksha?
Yes, actually, as I said before, started with the Purandaradasa Kriti. It says that Darula Dhruvanindu, how this small child Dhruva, he performed without food and water. He is doing, with the Upavas, he is doing the Nama Japa, but he is not doing Nama Sankeertana. He is doing Dhyana. And Prahlada, he was also doing the similar thing. Rukmangada is doing Upavas. And Pitamaha Bhishma, he was also chanting the Sahasranama, and Gajendra, he was also doing some form of bhakti, form of jnana, and Draupadi is also doing the same. They are not doing with fully into the music level, fully in the Bhagavan Nama, giving effect to Bhagavan Nama, and they didn't believe in Bhagavan, they believed in Bhagavan, they didn't believe in the Bhagavan Nama. not believing that, they did not insist on the Bhagavan Nama. And even Sukacharya, even Parikshit, what he did in the 7 days, if he listened to the Bhagavad Mahapurana, he would say, maybe a miracle happened, but he was promptly bitten by snake on the end of the 7th day. Even after listening to the Bhagavad, he was not spared. Even Dhruva, no, he was, no, though he did Nama Japa 6 months, no, he had to struggle in the forest. And also Praklada, he had to undergo several obstacles. Even Rukmangada, even Pitamaha Bhishma, he had to, he could not bear the pain created by the arrows. So what is Ajamila? He didn't suffer a bit. He called Narayana. He believed that Narayana, though his son was Narayana, he didn't mean the real Narayana. He believed in the name Narayana. This Narayana would rescue me from these demons. So he chanted, he believed on just that name, Narayana. He was immediately saved in an instant. What Kripacharya says, Harir Haradi Bhavani Dushta Anichayab Samrushta Dahatya Vahipauka. In an instant, he was saved. That is what the easiest. This Ajamila, he did everything bad till the end. At the end, what is doing? It is not that we should do all bad and say, if we sing Ramanama, everything will get purified. But what the philosophy says, what the Puranas says, what is being given in the philosophy is what that you keep on chanting. If you don't, Dikdesa Kalana Beksha. Narayana Tirtha says, Dikdesa, any direction you face, no east, west, north, south, any country, any time, morning, evening, midnight, mid-afternoon, any time, there is no restriction. Face any direction, no caste creed, anyone, no male or female restriction, anyone. Chant Rama, 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 Krishna, 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 Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Everything is done. Rama Nama Gangaya, Milita Krishna Nama, Yamune, Govinda Nama, Saraswati Pratite. You said you chant Rama, you sing Rama Nama, your Ganga Snanam is done. You need not go to the Ganges. Your Krishna Sankirtanam, Yamuna Snanam is done. Govinda Nama Sankeertanam, your Saraswati Snanam is done. And Ramakrishna Govinda together, Prayaga at your footsteps. Your Prayaga Snanam is done. And he says, Nanam Manasikam Tasya, Smaranam Vachaniyam, Kirtanam Gaikam Tasya, Kirtanam Sunartanam. In the real Prayaga, the water will be, Ganges will be flowing in full force. At that time, you will not think of Bhagavan, you will just catching and out of fear, you will be doing Snanam. But on this Prayaga Snanam, you will be singing, you will be dancing, and you will be doing Smarana of Bhagavan. So this is what is the real Prayaga. That's what Narayana, it is the easiest form. Other than rituals, it becomes a bit difficult than this Nama Sankeerthanam. It is very easy. So that's what this Guru Sadgurunathas they say.
That's a wonderful perspective. As I understood from the listening to the whole session, it appears to me that Nama Sankeertana's most potent form of connecting to the devata, that is the developing bhakti, as bhakti is all about the connection with the deity, how well you are able to actually perceive the deity in your own heart. And Nama Sankeertanam is all about this, I think, completely immersing oneself in the leelas of the deity, such that one becomes eventually one attains an aikyam with the devata itself. Am I correct in this?
Correct, exactly. It's one. Tukaram used to say, Aji Anandure ki Paramanandure, Jashudi Neti Manati going on. Not by just singing, even of thinking in your name itself, I'm able to dance out of ecstasy. So that's what Tukamanele Kara Tochi Diwali Dasara. So whenever I start singing your name, Bhaktas keep singing and dancing around me. The same day becomes Diwali and Dasara for me. Every day is Diwali Dasara. Whenever I start chanting and singing your name, it does not come once in a year. It comes me whenever I sing your name. That's what Tukaram says. So it brings so much happiness to oneself.
That's fantastic. I am personally actually waiting to listening to the second part tomorrow about the Sita Kalayanam and Andal and Tulasi Vivaha and all those things. We have not received any questions. So viewers, if you have any questions, you can carry it on for tomorrow. And after listening to tomorrow's session, you can ask them definitely. And on the behalf of entire Advaita Academy and all of viewers, I thank you, sir, for making time for this very unique session, very mesmerizing session, and on the glory of Bhagwan Nama. Thank you again, sir, for coming on our show.
Vijay Bhava, Ram.
Viewers, with this we conclude today's session. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for new updates. And if you have not registered for the session, please register. Tomorrow we have the same time, 11 a.m. On the second part, a very interesting aspect of divine weddings. Do not miss it. Do join. Shri Guru Namaha.